9. The murder of Jill Dando. Jill Dando was a BBC presenter well known on BBC Breakfast, travel programmes and Crime Watch. On the 26th of April, she was shot dead. Jill was discovered by her neighbour and the ambulance crew arrived, but press were already gathering and taking photos. Because of this, Jill was quickly placed into the ambulance and taken to hospital, meaning her body had been moved before police had arrived. Word began to spread and rumours began surrounding what had happened. Press started to report that Jill had been stabbed and formal identification had not even taken place. Public interest was high and the outpouring of love for Jill Dando was immense. The public and press were putting huge pressure onto the police to find a suspect, but police had no leads and many conflicting theories. 250 days after the murder, police had received 7,000 phone calls and faxes, some of which mentioned an individual called Barry George, but others had referred him to Barry Bulsara. Due to the limitations of the police national database at the time of the investigation, the names were never linked. Barry had a few criminal convictions in his past and people referred to him as being of low intellect, but a search of his property revealed some worrying items. 2 years after Jill's murder, a trial against Barry started. The only evidence presented was a single particle of gunshot residue. After 5 days deliberating, the jury returned a verdict of guilty as 9-1. Barry was sentenced to life. Barry's sister Michelle said, "Barry George is innocent. He was charged with a terrible crime, but he was never responsible for it. There will be an appeal. Justice was not seen today." Barry George's family launched an appeal, but it was rejected. His family contacted the CCRC, and they found that too much weight had been placed upon finding a single particle of gunshot residue. The Court of Appeal then ruled it as inadmissible and quashed his sentence. Without that single piece of evidence tying George to the murder, the case collapsed. The 1st of August 2008, after serving 8 years in prison, Barry George was cleared of all charges. His defence team maintained throughout that he had serious psychological problems and was incapable of carrying out the murder. Scotland Yard say their job was to bring somebody before the court based on evidence, and they were successful in that, and that the verdict was out of their hands. Whether or not Barry George committed the crime, he is an innocent man.